is a fucking joke. And as a nation, we should be ashamed of ourselves that this is even a possibility, just to support the BBC. Hi, it's me again, and sadly, we're doing it again. We're going to do another one of these stories that absolutely boils my piss. They make me sick to the stomach, these stories, for such a petty thing. Mother in hospital with sick son convicted of TV licence breach after nephew watched BBC Match of the Day. When he does what it says on the tin there, we don't really need to go through the whole article. We're going to go through a couple of bits of it because it's interesting. But she was dragged, well, not necessarily dragged through court because it would have been a single justice procedure, but all the stress of that. She got a sick son. It boggles the mind how this happens. Does it not to you? Is this okay? Are we okay with this as a nation? Taking people to court, giving them the stress of that, giving them a criminal conviction and fining them for watching a bit of telly. This needs decriminalising today. A mother has been convicted of not paying for a TV licence because her nephew watched Match of the Day while she was in hospital caring for her sick baby. The 31-year-old, because we need to know her age for some reason, from Wolverhampton, declared to TV licensing that she does not need to pay the £169.50 annual fee because she only watches Netflix and YouTube. Yep. If you don't watch or record anything that's been broadcast or access BBC iPlayer, you don't need to pay it. She knew the rules. She didn't need to pay it. But she was taken to court and handed a criminal conviction, because her visiting nephew logged into iPlayer on her TV to watch Match of the Day. So, she doesn't have a television licence because she doesn't need one. Someone entered her home, obviously with her permission, family member, and logged into iPlayer, whatever device. I mean, I don't use it, but it's built into my smart TV and I can't remove it, so I understand how it's there. Logged into iPlayer. Maybe she was already logged into iPlayer, but we'll gloss over that part. And watched the football. And she was caught, criminal conviction, fine, the full bifter, even though she wasn't in the house. Slam dunk, right? As soon as she logged into iPlayer, the servers at TV Licensing HQ lit up and they immediately dispatched a SWAT team to go and arrest this woman because they didn't know. They didn't know. We've covered this before. We've had an FOI request because there was a lot of letters going out for people who have declared they don't need a license. And they were getting these letters or emails even saying you've logged into iPlayer, you're in trouble, you now need to buy a television license. Now, I always thought it was a phishing scam. But from an FOI request, we found out that they are cross-referencing email addresses from, iPlayer access against people who registered no license needed. And if they tie up, you get a letter. I still think they send more out than they need to on a phishing expedition, but we'll gloss over that. So the nephew logged into iPlayer. If he logged into iPlayer from his home address, it doesn't, because of visiting nephew. Yeah, so he doesn't live there. Logged into iPlayer with his own login, it wouldn't have triggered anything. Maybe she was already signed up and signed into iPlayer. I don't know. But the important point here is that's not how they caught her. That's not how she got caught. There is no way you are going to court. It's not possible for them to take you to court for logging into iPlayer without they need more than that. They do. So how did it happen? Well, it only happened one way, but you have to scroll down a lot to get there. My nephew had come down on the weekend, 31st of August, for some reason we need to know that, to just do a check-in on the flat and had used BBC iPlayer, which I was unaware of until we had a visit from the TV licence guy. So that's how she got caught. TV licence enforcement officer has rocked up and accused her of using BBC iPlayer. She's had a chat with him. She's talked for too long, dropped herself in it, and now all of this has happened. We need to get the message out there more to not talk to these people. Hello, I'm from TV licensing. No, thank you, mate. Go away. Shut the door. That's it. This wouldn't have happened. Now, I'm not saying she's completely innocent. I don't know the situation, right? I can only look at the information that I have here. I don't know her. I wasn't there. But I do know one thing is if when the enforcement officer rocked up, knocked on the door and said, hello, I'm from TV licensing, she went, no thanks, mate, and shut the door, this wouldn't have happened. This would not have happened. She's been talking to him. He's been saying, he's probably said something like, you've logged into iPlayer, or have you logged into iPlayer, or we've got evidence that you've logged into iPlayer, something like that, because she had a chat. Oh, no, I'll have to tell him then. And that's it, done. Would have sold them a TV license at the door for £169.50, probably on a payment plan, got his commission, 25, 30 quidish commission, also filled out the prosecution paperwork, which would have got him another 25, 30 quid commission. So he's doubled his commission, and this poor woman with a sick son who was in hospital looking after him now has a criminal conviction for someone watching a bit of telly in her house. What a ridiculous state of affairs this is. It's absolutely fucking like the letters I get every month are bad enough. The letters you get are bad enough. The knocks on the doors are bad enough. But a criminal conviction for somebody watching a bit of telly in your house is a fucking joke. And as a nation, we should be ashamed of ourselves that this is even a possibility. Just to support the BBC. All of this. How is this in the public interest? How is this okay to do? And a TV licensing spokesperson, I haven't read all of this, but there we go. They will say our last resort is, it's the last thing we want to do is prosecute people. It will say in here, hang on. There we go. Yep. TV licensing says prosecution in court is always considered a last resort after efforts are made to encourage people to pay the license fee. She would have been sold I know for a fact she would have been sold a license on the doorstep by that goon. So how is prosecution a last resort? You seem to do it a lot for a corporation that call it a last fucking resort, don't you? So the TV licensing spokesperson said, every TV license is registered to an address as opposed to an individual. So the address where licensable content, including iPlayer, is being watched must be licensed, they added. When the mother was interviewed on the doorstep by a TV licensing officer at the start of September, it was noted of her TV, no channels was on and no channels tuned in. So she let him in. She let the goon in. And he probably went, that is how this happened. So she's got a knock on the door from a goon. He knows nothing about her watching football on iPlayer. Nothing about it at all. She's been talking to him. No, I don't watch TV. None of the channels are tuned in on my telly. I don't require a license. And he said, well, can I just come in and have a look? And she's like, come in. You're welcome to come in. Look, nothing's tuned in on my telly. He's pressed the iPlayer app on her smart telly and looked at viewing history on there, and there would have been a football match. And he's like, gotcha. Do not talk to these people. Why would you let someone in your home that you don't know? How do you know they're a TV license enforcement officer? I could put on a tie. I could speak more authoritative and carry a clipboard and come and knock on your house with my own printed out ID thing I can print on my printer now and make one. It's not exactly going to be hard to do. Do you know what a real TV licensing ID card looks like? Of course you don't. Nobody bloody does. So I could print one out. I could come in your home. God knows what I could do to you and your property. Do not let these people in your home. No good will come of it. The very least that will come of it is this situation. Do not talk to these goons. Do not let them in your house. And none of this will happen. It proper winds me up. It properly winds me up. There's no need for this in this day and age for a weird, draconian, stupid, old-fashioned law like this to keep giving poor people criminal records for watching a bit of telly. This needs decriminalising immediately. And the BBC need to stand on her own 2 feet and stop doing this to people. It really winds me up. Really winds me up. And that's why I do this channel, because I want to get the message out there. Don't pay them. You'll be surprised how much you can watch without having a television license if you play by the rules. And even if you are playing by the rules, do not talk to them at all. This woman played by the rules a bit. and this still happened to her. The message needs to get out there. Do not talk to these people. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. I've been quite clear on what I think about this, haven't I? Way down there, leaving your comments, hit all the buttons and everything as well. Because if you do all of that, hopefully I'll get to see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.